Well, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. I thought it was very good, especially the dessert. So please feel free to hop up at any time and help yourself to seconds. My name is Christy Jensen, and I am co-chair of our SGS Awards Committee. And to quote Sarah Mars, she says, we're the fun committee because we get to give away these awesome awards, and some of them have cash to go along with them. So it really is a pleasure. So you should have a program at your seat that's front and back like this. It's also listed the details about each of the awards on pages 4 and 5 in our conference program. So you won't hear the awards committee members go through a lot of detail about the background of the award because we know you already have that. And we'll get to the main focus, which is our awardees that we're recognizing. We're truly grateful to be able to host this lovely awards luncheon and this ceremony with you in all caps, in person. And to go ahead and read my notes, in such a warm and beautiful setting under the pavilion overlooking the bay. So thank you for your flexibility. We had planned, Amanda did an amazing job with our committee meeting and showing us all about the pavilion. And then she reached out this morning and said, the wind's a little bit much. And if you don't want to be chasing your hat into the pool or the programs or other materials, how about we move inside? So thank you for your flexibility. We really appreciate those of you that have supported our awards committee for the past 2 years because this program was brought to you virtually. When we hosted the virtual awards program in 2020, this was the only event from the conference program that took place within about a month of the conference being canceled. As we prepared to be with our colleagues virtually, the awards committee decided we would show up on Zoom with a festive hat just to bring some spirit to a very challenging time. As the awards program progressed, Libby and I, my esteemed co-chair, noticed that people left their Zoom camera on, walked away, most likely from their office or more their home setting, and came back with a hat on. And we didn't even ask them to do that. We're grateful that so many individuals joined in to help us make that virtual time a celebration. So I don't know how many years you have to do something before it becomes tradition, but in 2021, when we learned that our conference would fully be virtual, the awards committee again said, we're ready to go, and we're inviting everyone to wear hats. So there were about 55 of you that joined us via Zoom last year during the conference awards program. And I think at least 90 or 95% had their hats on. I don't know if we're at that point yet. Leanne, stand up. So Leanne handmade hers. Actually, she was still working on it 5 or 10 minutes ago. So, well, yeah. Okay, come stand up here. I am happy now. All right, Kim McRae, you got to come up next. You are modeling your hat right there for our friends on Zoom. And Cassandra, what do you think about our friends from Mexico? Stand up and show folks how you remodeled the mask. These are our new friends from the University of Guadalajara. So we thank you if you're joining us with a hat, or you have a favorite hat that you'll go put on when you get back to your respective institution or agency. And we'll plant the seed now, Libby, that everybody needs to up their game when they come to Norfolk next year with another hat. So let me next introduce our fun committee, our fellow committee members on the awards committee. And they are what we refer to as champions. So each individual is a champion that is representing an award and will come present that on behalf of that award category. They've been extremely dedicated and so supportive and so fun. So Libby Yost, as I mentioned, is my amazing co-chair. Thank you, Libby, who has on literally rose-colored glasses today. And Jenny De La Cruz was not able to be with us today, but we want to recognize her. Ethelyn Gibson. Cassandra Germain, she's got the purple going. Sarah Mars. Graham Rolls. And Sudha Sriniwas. And we have to do it again. We have to give a big shout out to our new executive director and all of her help and support, Amanda James. So on a far table back there, there are award plaques listing all of our award winners from the beginning of the SGS history, 43 years back. I would really encourage you, when our awards program is over today, to just go browse around the table and look at the legacy that's been left by so many of our colleagues. And then our new award winners today will be adding to that. So I would encourage you to listen carefully and learn about the amazing work of our colleagues and what they're engaged in as we recognize and celebrate them today. Libby.
Of course, none of this would be possible without our excellent sponsors. So a few more thank you. We'd like to thank Georgia State University, the Gerontology Institute, for our gold sponsor and bag sponsor. The Erickson School of Aging Studies as our silver sponsor plus. The Riverside Center for Excellence in Aging and Lifelong Health, the silver sponsor and the Living with Dementia sponsor. Special thanks also to our bronze sponsors, the Florida PACE providers, the Association Master of Health Administration at Appalachia State University, and Mom's Meals. So for a few instructions, as Christy said, as we announce our award winners, we'll have a champion up here. Our champions are our committee members that have shepherded each award through the process. They'll speak a little bit about the award winner, and then we'll ask if you've won an award to come up to your right over here and get a picture with the SGS banner. After that, of course, we would all like pictures in front of the water. So we welcome you to come outside after and have our beautiful outdoor pictures we planned for. So without further ado, Christy.
All right, so a few more kind of introductions while we have the microphone. And then I promise we won't hold it up much longer before we start our awards. I am asking that if you are a past president of the Southern Gerontological Society, if you will please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And I'm going to ask that all of our past presidents come up to the front at the end of the program today, and we'll get our typical past presidents in attendance photo. All right, so you see this image here, which is the region that we represent, but we know we extend beyond that, including to Mexico this year. So I want to take just a few minutes because I haven't had a chance to really get to know who's representing which states in our region and beyond our region. So I'm going to call out a state's name, and if you are representing that state, if you would please stand, and we'd like to just kind of look around the room and see who's here from these states. So bear with me for the next minute or two, and you may need to even shout out and remind me of certain states if we miss any. But let's start within our region, and let's start with our host state. So if you are here from Florida, if you'll please stand. Georgia. She's allowed to do that when she wears that hat. And Candace brought Hamilton, her lovely dog, also here from Georgia. Do we have anyone here from South Carolina? Okay. Alabama. North Carolina. Tennessee. Arkansas. The Commonwealth of Virginia. Maryland. Texas. Louisiana. No, okay. West Virginia. Okay. The District of Columbia. Kentucky. Mississippi. Okay, so now here's where I need your help. Chris? Omaha, Nebraska. Ohio. Okay, thank you. All right. Connecticut. Oh, okay. There's our esteemed editor for JAG, Julie. Welcome. All right. Who else? California. Iowa. All right. Who else? New York City, New York. Nice. Mexico, yes. And we have our friends from the University of Guadalajara. All right. Did I miss any state, territory, country? So we truly are representing much of our region and much more. And thank you for that.
So I actually have the honor of presenting the first award today, and I want to just give, this is our Student Travel Award. So every year, thanks to the proceeds of our silent auction, bid often, bid high. It opens after this. So while you're feeling good on those endorphins and that banana pudding, head right over. Bid often, bid high. Yes. So anyway, thanks to the proceeds of our silent auction, we're able to award every year 1 to 3 travel scholarships typically. We'd love to award 4 next year as a goal here. So this year we had 2 award winners. We brought them in. We were able to sponsor them about $800 each. And this year our 2 award winners were Isabel Soto from the University of North Texas Health Science Center. Isabel, she might have had, come on. Right, great, thanks, come on up. And Shalini Sahu from the University of Maryland, Baltimore. If you're here, come on up.
Libby, you should have been in the picture so we can document your hat. So we recognize 1 to 3 usually esteemed colleagues who are our GRITS Award winner, gerontologists rooted in the South. And they are provided with this lovely vase that is their special keepsake for this most high award in our organization. And this awardee is generally invited to come up and speak briefly to accept their award, which we don't extend that invitation to every awardee, not because we don't want to hear from you, but in the interest of time. So this year, our plan was to present and recognize Dr. Ron Aday from Middle Tennessee State University. And just on Tuesday, I heard from him that his sister had been quite ill in the hospital. He was her primary caregiver and he couldn't leave. And of course, of all organizations, we understand that and we appreciate that. And so I thanked him for what he was doing for his sister and asked him to keep us updated and invited him to come to Norfolk next year and receive his award at that time. And so that is the plan, but I would like us to pause and at least give a round of applause for Dr. Aday, this year's GRITS awardee.
Good afternoon. Our next award actually recognizes programs and organizations that engage in innovative and collaborative practices for older adults. And since our organization is bridging clinicians and academics, being a nurse, this is very special to my heart. So this year we are awarding the program that is actually called Circa. And you are probably like, what in the heck is Circa? So let me tell you what is Circa. So Circa stands for Creating Interprofessional. Let me get my phone here together because it's just not working with me here today. See, this is what happens when the alarm goes off early in the morning and it doesn't want to work with you. Okay, hold on. Okay. Creating interprofessional readiness for complex and aging adults. And so from the nomination that we received from Annie Rhodes, she wrote to us that the Circa program, Creating Interprofessional Readiness for Complex and Aging Adults, has actually been an exemplary program, even despite during this time of COVID. This program has connected a diverse group of faculty throughout the state of Virginia, providing scholars from academic and practice-based backgrounds to support the provision of better care and education to elders and students. The 2021 to 22 cohort has consisted of social workers, occupational and physical therapists, gerontologists, physicians, nurse practitioners. And with an average of 94% of the scholars agreeing that the information that they have been provided has been both informative and novel. Despite COVID, they have met every single month during the academic year from September through May, every Friday from 2 o'clock till about 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the evening, engaged over Zoom, listening to scholars that included physicians, dietitians, gerontologists, social workers, occupational therapists, and they have been quite engaged. And they are from all across the Commonwealth of Virginia to learn those skills and take them back across the Commonwealth of Virginia to become better ambassadors to learn how to care for older adults. And so I am going to ask Dr. Waters to come forward and receive the award. And Dr. Mars.
I'm back for more student awards. So have I mentioned the silent auction opens right after this? We need to bid early, and we need to bid often, and we need to bid high. As a reminder, our silent auction funds so many of our wonderful student awards. So in all seriousness, please do go bid. This year, we were really lucky to have some excellent student posters. I hope everyone got a chance to go see those and engage with everyone. They're always one of the highlights of this conference to me. It's an option or an opportunity for our students to really get their first chance perhaps at presenting their research in a really friendly environment. I think we are the friendliest conference too. So not that I'm biased, but this year we've got 3 award winners. So if you would come up when I call your name, that'd be great. In 3rd place, we've got Deanna Dragan with engaging and supporting community hospice providers in managing mental health needs of veterans at end of life. In 2nd place, we have Alexa Allen for Area Deprivation Index effects on objective and subjective reports of physical health. And in 1st place, we have Isabel Soto. Exercise is a protective factor for motor and cognition function in early stage Parkinson's disease.
Okay, I'm representing the Encore Committee and the award, which is the Encore Recognition Award. Unfortunately, this year we have no winner of this award. And the committee, when we started looking at the award, realized that the criteria for the award were really not appropriate. We even tried to consider reaching out to some people to invite them to apply for the award. But we found that those people weren't qualified for the award under the criterion that had been established. So what we're going to be doing is revisiting that and revisiting that award because some of the criteria were actually, we've discovered, a little ageist, which is probably not an appropriate thing for our organization to be. And so we are going to revisit that next year. And basically, we're hoping to give multiple awards next year. These are for encore members of our organization. And the idea is that we provide some support to enable them to come to the meeting and to continue participating in something which for many of them has been a part of their lives for many years. And so I wanted to mention two other things. A couple of my colleagues have mentioned that there is a silent auction, which you may not have heard about. And one of them suggested that you needed to be bid higher than the previous person who mentioned it. So I think you should go higher and higher and higher in terms of your bidding. Now, one of the things that disappoints me is that I haven't been able to make an award for the Encore Committee this year. And I always like to recognize people for something, to be real positive. And something really great happened this morning. And so I'm going to take advantage of this right now to recognize one of our members who this morning heard via email from a dean that she has received the Ohio University Inspirational Teacher Award for the university. And so I'd like you to join me in recognizing Julie Brown from Ohio University. So the final message is bid higher, 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 and higher.
And do remember, since we are the fun committee, we love good news. So anytime that y'all are winning awards, we'd love to be able to showcase your awards. So even if they aren't ones we're presenting, so let us know. So I know the silent auction doesn't seem so silent at this point. And that happens, but I'm presenting student awards, which are funded by the silent auction. So, you know, I'll save it. I'll save it. I don't want to wear out the record too fast. This year I had the honor of being able, sounds funny, right, to read more papers. But I'll tell you, it actually was an honor. We had some excellent paper submissions this year. And this year we are lucky enough to be able to award 3 awards for papers. These come from student papers. They're required to submit a full-length manuscript, which we can all remember is a tough pull sometimes, especially in time to meet deadlines. So we had some wonderful papers this year and 3 awards. So 3rd place is Anna Stedman from the University of North Alabama. Her paper, How Do Alzheimer's Diagnoses Limit the Quality of Life Within the Field of Geriatric Occupational Therapy? How does this change the interaction between the occupational therapist and the patient? Congratulations, Anna. In 2nd place, we had Donette Noreen from the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Her paper entitled Volunteering, Educational Attainment and Literacy Skills Among Middle-Aged and Older Adults by Racial Ethnic Groups in the US. If you're here, you can come up. And in 1st place, Kalal Kumar Bhattacharya from the University of South Florida, Creating Age-Friendly Nursing Homes. The time is now.
So this year I have the pleasure of presenting the Media Award. SGS offers the Media Award to recognize an outstanding media contribution that furthers the understanding of aging in the region and the mission of SGS. This year's award goes to Dr. Lavana Trawick, Associate Professor of Physical Therapy at Arkansas College of Health Education, and her team, Ms. Susan Devereaux and Ms. Allison Kerouac, for their community-based desk exercise program. I had to practice that was a tongue twister. Desk exercise is a video series focused on improving mobility through strengthening and stretching activities. You can find desk exercise videos on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Instagram. Thank you, Dr. Smith.
Hang on, you got the.
Our next award is the Gordon Stribe Distinguished Academic Gerontologist Award. The Gordon Stribe Award is given to somebody who has shown and given significant contributions to the field of aging through leadership, scholarship, and teaching, with an emphasis particularly on scholarship. The award this year goes to Dr. Tracy Gendron, Chair of the Department of Gerontology at Virginia Commonwealth University, and new-ishly appointed Executive Director of the Virginia Center on Aging, also at Virginia Commonwealth University. I could talk to you for weeks about how wonderful Tracy is, but we have received a ample amount of letters in support of her nomination for this award. And I think they say beautifully just what Tracy contributes, not only to our department and to us as individuals, but also to the field. One of those letters came from one of our dear colleagues, Dr. Jenny Inker, who says, Dr. Gendron's approach is to believe the best of and expect the best from others, and she has a unique ability to lead people with love, humility, strength, and skill. And a letter that came from one of our master's students who also works in the department as a research analyst says, Tracy has been nothing but kind and supportive since I started working with her 3 years ago. As someone in the beginning stage of their working life, she has always offered her time and advice even before becoming director of the VCOA. Tracy has helped give me the tools to figure out where I belong and where I want to go in my career. Most notably, Tracy's passion for her work is infectious. You can't help but feel how genuinely excited she is to be working in this field. This energy spreads to everyone in the room, virtual or in person, and encourages new ideas and outside of the box thinking. She truly embodies what it means to be a leader amongst her peers in the field. And so, given that, plus Tracy's incredible record of over 40 peer-reviewed publications with at least 5 under review and in prep. I know that because she's on a couple of mine, as well as her brand new book, Ageism Unmasked, that was just released last month. I think there's a silent auction at this conference. There's a signed copy of her book included. It goes for $20 on Amazon, so you've got to at least double that. So a copy of her book is available in the silent auction. And so Tracy, please join me over to the side and receive your award.
Well, I couldn't be more thrilled to present this award. This year, the Rhoda L. Jennings Distinguished Older Advocate Award is presented to Mr. Brian LeBlanc. Before you hop up, Brian, let me tell folks about you. Brian was nominated by Kim McRae. You know Kim now by her hat, right? And Jen Craft Morgan. Jen, thank you all for submitting such a thoughtful nomination. And you'll see Brian in a minute, but he looks very distinguished in his purple blazer today. I'd like to share about Brian's impressive work. Brian LeBlanc is an international Alzheimer's advocate, keynote speaker, session presenter, and congressional Alzheimer's ambassador for the Alzheimer's Association. He speaks at international, national, regional, and local conferences and has significantly contributed to the Southern Gerontological Society and Georgia Gerontology Society. He's been a tremendous and very effective advocate for people who are living with dementia. He's also provided visionary leadership in all of his roles with the numerous organizations that he works with and has helped develop. In 2014, Brian was diagnosed with younger onset Alzheimer's disease at the age of 54. He was diagnosed, and this was confirmed by 5 different neurologists, now being the 4th generation in his family to have received this diagnosis. This is what forced Brian into an early retirement from his successful niche in the professional world as a marketing and public relations executive. In 2019, he also received a diagnosis of vascular dementia. Having had a very successful career using his voice, after his diagnosis, he knew he needed to use it to educate and advocate for people living with dementia, particularly those with younger onset dementia and their care partners. He also does this to honor his mother, who lived with and died from Alzheimer's disease. Brian and his life partner, Maureen, and thank you, Maureen, we're very happy that you're here with us today. They co-founded We Are Dementia Strong, which can be found on Facebook, which can be found online and through Facebook at caregiversupportandresources.com. Some of his global leadership work is highlighted in a YouTube WebMD documentary titled Into the Fog, Living with Early Onset Alzheimer's. Everyone who's had the opportunity to meet Brian and listen to his wise words has had their eyes opened wide and are forever changed in their understanding of dementia and the people living with it. Brian is receiving the Rhoda L. Jennings Distinguished Older Advocate Award because he exemplifies the reason as to why we implemented this award, and we are grateful, Brian, for your ongoing advocacy. Please come up and accept this award. We also gave Brian, that's perfect, just so it's on our video. We also gave Brian and we gave Dr. Gendron, you should have received an envelope that has another tag for your badge that shows you as an esteemed award winner. So please wear that with pride.
I'm delighted to call forward the people who will be presenting the awards to the Victor Marshall Fellowship winners for this year. The Victor Marshall Fellowship Award is named in memory of Victor W. Marshall. It acknowledges the outstanding and ongoing achievement that bridges the domains of original and applied research, service to government, practice with older adults, gerontology education, and advocacy within gerontology. Joanne Marshall has shared a few words with us. Victor was always a staunch supporter of SGS and encouraged his students to become involved too. He loved going to the meetings, and I know he would have been so pleased with the wonderful contribution that Marshall Fellows have and will make to the field of gerontology in the future. Congratulations and best wishes to the new fellows and to the past ones as well. So I'm going to now call the people who nominated their awardee to come up and present the nomination, the award to the nominee. So I'm going to request Cynthia Hancock to come and present the award to Lavona Trewick. Is Cynthia here? Okay, yeah. Lavona Trewick.
Good afternoon. So Dr. Lavona Trewick, she's not going to be a stranger, I'm sure. And in fact, when I saw that she wasn't a fellow, I went, what? This is easy. Nice, easiest job on the planet. Dr. Trewick holds a graduate certificate, a master's, and a PhD in gerontology. She's been actively engaged in the profession and SGS for almost 2 decades, serving now as associate professor at the Arkansas Colleges of Health Education. Dr. Trewick's extensive service has been primarily to organizations and universities within the state of Arkansas, as well as SGS. She has not only served, but held multiple leadership roles. Within SGS alone, she has led in the following capacities: Conference Planning Committee, and these are multiple years for each of these things, board member, awards committee, program chair, president-elect, president, past president, council of past presidents committee chair, and membership committee. Additionally, she has presented at SGS every year since 2006, and some years multiple times. She has won the SGS Media Award 2 times and won first place in the SGS Student Paper Award in 2006. Her scholarship is framed by the Life Course lens and focuses on healthy aging. She has 15 active projects. Since 2015, has published 9 peer-reviewed journal articles, 2 fact sheets, 1 exercise poster, co-authored 2 award-winning nationally distributed curricula, presented 39 peer-reviewed and 14 invited guest presentations, and brought in over $1 million in grant dollars as PI or co-PI. Dr. Trewick's teaching is grounded in engaged and experiential learning. Like the best of teachers, she understands that hands-on engaged learning produces the best educational outcomes. Her peers, students, and community have benefited widely from her gracious style and professional contributions. It seems that fellow status is simply an overdue recognition of Dr. Trewick's vast contributions.
I now call upon Chris Kelly to present the award to Leanne Ferguson.
I'm pleased to present the Victor Marshall Fellow to Leanne Ferguson. To me, this is the most prestigious award the Southern Gerontological Society can bestow, as it recognizes individuals who have served SGS with great distinction in the spirit of my friend and mentor, Dr. Victor Marshall. Leanne embodies that perfectly. In the 2 decades I have known her, and particularly in her 5 years as executive director, Leanne, more than anyone, has helped grow SGS in size and prominence while retaining its unique collegial environment. Leanne could teach all of us a course on leadership, particularly in academia, if she chose to do so. She is an organized and thoughtful planner with a long-term vision who does not miss the short-term details in the meantime. Leanne is a team builder and a consensus maker who is gifted at devising solutions to problems while reaching a decision for which the whole group can proudly claim ownership. Above all, Leanne is a kind and thoughtful person who makes every colleague feel valued and every voice heard. It is a joy to work with and for Leanne, and I know everyone past and present in SGS would agree. So in summary, I am honored to nominate and award my friend Leanne Stephen Ferguson the Victor Marshall Fellowship. Thank you very much.
I next call on Bert Waters to present the fellowship to Farron Epps.
First off, I would like to apologize and say I did not nominate you, Farron. Dr. Patty Sladen nominated you and she could not attend the conference. She sent me an email on February 26th asking me to come up to stage and nominate you. And I immediately said yes. And then I immediately forgot. You know how emails are. About half an hour ago, Suda said, you're going to be nominating Dr. Epps. So I ran up to you and I started talking to you. I didn't know what to say. But I did say that we're going to start partnering. And it's so important. So, and I pulled up your CV. And I can tell everybody that Farron's wonderful. And we presented together once in 2012. She was the chair of ESPO symposium. And I was asked to present with her and I was excited. And so I have presented with her once before. But I'm not on her CV. It didn't make it to your CV. It's on my CV, but it's not on your CV. I think you need to fix that. Other than that, Farron's just a wonderful person. And really, you do. And I would also say that last year, because I checked her CV, she received the Applied Gerontologist Award, but she wasn't able to be here because we were virtual. And so this is actually 2 awards. Look at it that way. Last year's Applied Gerontologist Award, and this year, the Victor Marshall Award. Please come up.
And now I call upon Christy Jensen to present the award to Libby Yost.
So surprise, sorry. We didn't, she knew. We spilled the beans a little early. It's tough when you're on the awards committee and you're being awarded, so. But Libby Yost, my dear friend and colleague, is among 4 incredible candidates that we're honoring today as Victor Marshall Fellows. Sorry, I have a little PTSD after the 4 a.m. wake-up call. Who was doing yoga at 7? If you'd done it at 5 a.m., I would have been ready to go. So I've known Dr. Yost for about 9 years now as a colleague and friend. She was actually in Williamsburg at the College of William and Mary. We might work to see if we can rekindle that opportunity for her to be back in Virginia. And I want to highlight just some of Libby's many accomplishments in these areas: scholarship, mentorship, and service to the community, as these 3 components have a direct connection to the values our friend and colleague, Dr. Marshall, held so highly during his esteemed career. In fact, the great majority of colleagues I met when I first engaged with SGS more than 17 years ago were connected to Dr. Marshall. So Jen and Ishan and Chris, I don't know if you all have done the, like, instead of the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, there's probably a 6 degrees to Victor Marshall in our organization. And these colleagues of Victor were always proud to announce that they were his colleagues at the University of North Carolina, or a friend, or on the society board, among others. Sorry, Libby, I have a long list of things here, so, and too many pages. Bear with me. So in terms of mentorship, Libby directs the pre-health and public health programs at Washington College in Maryland. She's also chair of the pre-medical committee and chairs 2 to 4 senior capstone projects per year in the Department of Sociology. In terms of service, Libby serves on the board of directors for Homeports, a nonprofit that helps older adults age in place in Chestertown, Maryland. She served on their executive board for the last year, and she serves on the community board for the local hospital in Chestertown. They are currently working to earn their age-friendly hospital designation. In terms of commitment to SGS, Libby has been an active member for 10+ years, where she served as an at-large board member for 2 terms. She's been very committed to exposing her students to SGS conferences, and one student who accompanied her subsequently won a student presentation award. Libby served on the local arrangements committee in 2014 when she was teaching at the College of William and Mary, and our conference was in Williamsburg, Virginia. As the local arrangements chair and president-elect, I was extremely grateful to have her input and creative ideas in helping us serve as hospitable host in our colonial community. She currently supports SGS through her service as the awards committee co-chair, where again, I'm grateful for her can-do attitude and her dedication to this committee. She has a number of publications and work, particularly a fascinating area in the interest of older adults and their comfort and use and engagement with technology. She's also been active on our gerontological education committee, which has been instrumental in some webinars that we've held year-round. So I want to conclude this nomination by sharing some quotes from her students who've been in her social gerontology course. And we all know, and Libby has shared with me, that our students have really struggled over the past few years, and she's certainly tried to shepherd them through some very difficult times. We also know that Victor had a great love for teaching and preparing the next generation of thinkers and leaders, which I see so much in Libby. She follows this passion and his example, particularly with a social gerontology course that is a service learning course that requires students to work with older adults for roughly 20 hours over the course of the semester. They engage with community members and get to partner on their final project presentations. And she shared that one was particularly focused on designing an age-friendly community. And one student shared, "I learned so much. I love the service learning project so much." All right, we'll work on that student's grammar. I've never seen theory come to life so much before. Really? 3? Oh my gosh, Dana. It was a life-changing experience. They didn't end that sentence with so much. And another student shared in the sociology of aging, this was definitely my favorite in all caps course at Washington College. Oh my gosh, seriously, I talked about it so much during my medical school interviews. It really helped me stand out. Those are two different students. Who's using so much all the time? Libby, we are really pleased to make you our newest Victor Marshall Fellow.
Clearly, I don't teach writing.
Libby, we planned our stripes so much. Okay, we're going to end with some commercials or some announcements for you. And thank you, Dana Bradley. She can be a resource to you if you have questions. So can Siobhan Mingo. Siobhan, where are you? Siobhan, thank you. So Careers in Aging Week, right? Okay, so Careers in Aging Week, sponsored by Augie, is the 17th to the 23rd of this month. And there is a lovely flyer here that shows SGS is partnering with the Georgia State University Gerontology Institute in a Careers in Aging program that includes some events in April and in May, and Siobhan is coordinating that. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to her. But we're grateful because we know that Careers in Aging Week, and you look at the Augie site at geron.org, really includes a lot of ideas and resources for how to get students in your agencies and organizations inspired and excited about an opportunity in aging. So Jen Craft Morgan will be leading us at 6:30. Is that correct? Okay, so she's saying past presidents show up at 6:15. At 6:30, we will be gathering for s'mores and a fireside chat that will last about 90 minutes or so. And I believe we've moved the location slightly to the lawn. Okay. There was something about fire and wind and alarms.
Walk out to the pool, go left, and just keep walking until you see fire.
Too early.
I did stay up to see the fire trucks arrive after we were told that we could go back to our rooms last night. So I might stand a little far away from the fire, I'm thinking. Okay, so you all have heard, and we weren't trying to make fun of the silent auction, but it is this way. And we are going to finish in 2 minutes. So you can even go there early, not just yet, but you can go early, even before the 1:30 launch, and see all of the amazing items that are in there that you can bid on. And we are pleased that award nominations for these awards will be open for presentation for our 2023 conference in Norfolk in August of this year through February. So we would encourage you now to start thinking about candidates that you would like to nominate. And thanks to Leanne, we now are going to add a new hat award next year. So we feel like we need to, between her and Kim, we need to add some kind of award. So other concluding comments or thoughts? So we are grateful that you've been with us today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. Again, go visit the silent auction. Oh, if you were an award winner, we do have under the table up here more padded materials and ways that you can safely get your lovely award home. And if you want to see Lauren, wave your hand, Lauren. She can go out to the patio and the water side if you would like some more photos to have proof of the palm trees in the background. Thank you for wearing your hat. Thank you for being with us and enjoy the rest of the conference.